So welcome back to another episode of how to make a 3D text intro in Blender, and this is what we got so far. So yeah, pretty cool, and this episode we're getting into spirals and particles. So you will go under File, User Preferences, select Add Curve here, and then select Add Curve Extra Objects. Now open the Tools tab, hit Shift A, and then go into Curve, Extra Objects, Spirals. Now you'll go down here. This is a spiral type. You don't want to mess with that, but you want to mess with turns and height to see the length of it. And I want it to strangle around the text pretty well. So turns, I don't think we need that many turns. No, 3 turns will be enough. And height, there we go. And now RY90, GX 3 5 5, please 5 3. There we go. GZ, move it up a bit, and now going to 1. Size 3. Okay, still wrapping around. It's good. 1, and then GX to move it. There we go. Go into the curve tab up here, so, under fill, under shape, fill, full, and then we go down here. We can close that off. Go under geometry, and then under the bevel, we will set the depth and then resolution to make it smoother. 32 is the smoothest, but for this purpose we can just use 16. Set the depth to something like 0.05. And there we go. Now we've got that. And now when we go down to bevel factor, here we can see that we can set the animation of it going. So if you haven't guessed yet, that's what we are going to be animating. I'm going to scale this down a bit more just so that it wraps. And go to the first thing, which is about here. That there is what we want, and we want it to start there. So hit I above the, while hovering over start and end. Hit T to remove that. We can move this up, don't need that anymore, and go 35 frames out, so 45. We can set the start full, and now we can go over to 180, Control Z, 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 I want 145, and then set the start full, and the end full, and then we go plus 35, which is 180, and we set the end. We want this to be like that, and we want to go here, and we want the end to be all the way down. And now when we go, it'll slowly make the spiral, and then at 180 we want the start to go to the end fully. Back at 225, I believe it was, no, 220. Yeah, so right there we want it to start again, just this time backwards. So I and then go another 35 frames, which is 55. Bring the end all the way down, I 290, and bring the start all the way back down, and then over at 320. So right here. Okay, so right here at 333, triple Illuminati. It to be keyframed again for start and end. 5 frames out, and then another 30, which is 368. And we want the start to be full again, and the end to be at 0, and then another 35, so 403. And then we want the end to be full again. Now, just for the purpose, I will, for it to be a bit thicker, I will buff up the depth, because I don't think that small of a depth looks good. And there we go, it's almost touching it. Now, I highly recommend downloading DreamMotion's intro template, where he uses particles, but for now we're just gonna play around with the spirals a bit. So 0, and go to the way start to show you guys how it looks. Go into 3D view, Control Shift down, and Alt. And so yeah, that's it for that. Now we will go and we will duplicate the spiral over just as much as it was here. So 1, 2, 3, and then RZ 180. So we should get a double spiral effect. RX 180. There we go. Double spiral effect. Pretty awesome. But these are opposite spirals. Usually people do this kind of effect. So RZ 180 GX and move it into there, and then they use this one, which I like, but I don't like half as much as the other one. So let's see this one anyways. Well, I guess that's pretty cool, but I still like the other one. What the heck? Not game logic. Default. I still like the other one more. Now let's do this, because I've never done this method, and I'm quite interested in how it'll turn out. So now you'll go into the Materials tab, and make a new material. You will buff the intensity of diffuse up, and the specularity all the way down. Do the same for the text. Intensity up, specularity all the way down. Now you will select the white text, and add an emit of 1, then select the green text, and add an emit of 0.4. And this should make it so that we can see it. So go into the World tab, remove environment lighting, select indirect lighting, select approximate, and passes, select 1, 2, or 3. Doesn't matter. And this will emit light on the environment. So now we select one of the spirals, and set their color to something that matches. I will put one to turquoise. You can leave them white so that they're silverish, but I won't. And then select the other one and put a different color up. I'll just leave this one white because I usually do that for the second spiral. And then remove specularity, intensity up, emit, set it to 0.5 or something like that, so that it will in fact be seen and emit a little glow. I'll set it to 0.8, and select the other one, and set the emit to 0.8. Now we have the spirals growing around. And as you see, it's just the camera bouncing around, nothing with the text. So yeah, I think that's pretty freaking awesome. Now we get to the particles. What we're first gonna do is save our file. You'll do Shift A, so select Mesh, and then hit Cube. Move this cube away so that it won't be in the camera, but for now we're just gonna keep it here. Now Shift A, Mesh, and you'll select Cylinder, RX90, Tab, Face Selection, select the two faces on the sides, and hit X, select Faces, Tab, Scale Y 0.1, and then scale 0.1, and GZ, give it a material so that it's not seen, so buff up the diffuse, set the specularity down, go down, enable transparency, and turn alpha to 0, and the specularity to 0, so yeah, you don't see it anymore. Now you will go into the particles menu up here, and select new. Set the number to 1000, lifetime to like 20 frames. You don't need it anything really large, and set it to what you want the start frame to be. I want the start frame to be 110, the end frame to be 115, because it already does a lot of particles by this time. And next we'll go into faces, jittered, and then we can close emission. Cache is not needed. Velocity, set the velocity to something that you think will be good. I'll set it 7 for now, and we'll edit it later on. You can close velocity, enable rotation, and open it up. Set the render to 0.8 and the and set it to velocity hair. Physics, Newtonian, size 0.220, and random size, put it all the way up to 1. Now under render, you want to select object here, and you want to select duplicate object cube. This will duplicate the object cube instead of just like any other one. So you can set which object it duplicates. Under display, it should be rendered, and display 100%. Children none. Field weights disable gravity, and everything else should be at 1. And the rest is not needed. So now, when we come to frame 110, it splatters a bunch of cubes. Now you can play around with these settings to see, do what you think seems fit. Depending on the geometry, that's how many different surfaces are going to be splattered into cube thingies. These are quite big, so to edit that, we just scale down this cube. Since it's all based upon that cube, I just scaled it up 5 times. Scale it 0.1, and then it'll come out as little streaks like that. So pretty cool. And now we shall do this for 2 more on every little part like this. And that is freaking awesome. But you'll realize that the cubes aren't quite seen very well. Well, there's a way to fix this, and a way to, you know, avoid it not being seen. The emit, though, however, doesn't affect these cubes. However, it affects the little cylinder down there. So just don't put emit. Shift A, lamp, Hemi, RX90, and then GY -10. There we go. Shift D, Z 5, RX -45. We want it to point at the little text thing right there, and then Shift D, Z, move it down, RX 90, and just make it so it points straight through the sphere. And then we will do the same on the other side. So Shift D, Y -20, no wait, 20, GY 20, RX 180, and then you'll be able to see the cubes just fine. But since it's too bright, you're gonna want to delete these lights and set the energy to like 0.2 or something, and then redo the whole process. So, and now it shows it like that. And yeah, what was that weird thing over here? Why does it clump up? Why does it cluster up like that? That's really weird. It goes out. Okay, anyways, as I said, it's really smart to use a rig, so I will use DreamMotion's template. And this is a pretty cool, decent intro. It's quite short. Suits its purpose and has an awesome trap code. So if you want to use that trap code, you can just take it, because it's quite simple to make. And just select the particles, Control C, and then go back into your Blender thing. Okay, so I'm here and it's crashing. When it crashes, don't touch anything. Just wait for it to stop crashing. Even if it gives you the white screen, don't close it. Don't close it, guys. So then X on that cube, Control V, and then you've got your particles here. Select them and move it. And it also gives you the cube just 1,000 blocks freaking way. And just move it over back here, behind here. And then go in and set the start and end frame. So emission and start 110. No, wait, you first got to set the end, so 115, 110. Set the lifetime to like 20 frames, and under velocity, you're gonna want to change this. I set this to 7 if I were you, and it doesn't even show the cylinder, but however, it does give off the cubes. And why is it clustered? Oh yeah, because we need to edit the cube back over here, and then select the cube up here, period. Dude, come on, like, it's not that hard, just work. Oh yeah, wrong period. Scale 0.5, and then these are a lot smaller, and it does look like a cool sphere of that stuff, yeah. Now, to get more of these things at different timings, you can't edit this, so you're just gonna have to keep duplicating it over from here. Control Z, C, sorry. Then move the. We want the end to be 225 and the start to be 220. Why isn't it doing that? Faces grid. Okay, seems that you have to move it out, and so just do the same multiple times and you'll get your result you need. Yep. Thank you guys for watching this episode of how to make a 3D text synchronized intro in Blender with particles and spirals, and next episode we're getting into trap codes. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.